Okay, let's look at the news in the cruise industry. That's a great moment right now. On May 26th, the U.S. CDC, Center for Disease Control, relaxed the cruising rules. So sooner or later, the cruise industry will back on the trial version soon. Because it has been 15 months long, the cruise industry repatriated all crews and the staff service. The cruise company is almost uh, uh, getting poor right now. So the CDC allowed the cruise company to resume the service. When we look at the cruise industry news, we can see the big story coming back now. So, so we will see the Royal Caribbean will the big group we spoke to you last week, and they will coming back in service. But the problem they are going to make is the crew issue. They are going to hire thousands of crews from the worldwide. But I spoke to you last week regarding the different groups that has a different origin of a cruise. So we just drop off the crew issue right now. So we come back to see what happened in the near future. So let's look at the Royal Caribbean International. The first sailing will follow by the June 12th. June 12th. One ship in service, six more follow starting on the June 12th. The Quantum of the Sea in service. Of course, Quantum of the Sea is in Asia right now. The Adventure of the Sea, Anthem of the Sea, Jewel of the Seas, Serenity of the Seas, Spectrum of the Seas, and the Ovation of the Seas, and the follow. Regions: Singapore, Bahama, Europe, Alaska, and from Hong Kong. So you can see the major home port like Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Galveston haven't been started so far. That's almost out of the U.S. soil. Mhm. But sailing Asia and Alaska, Royal Caribbean will soon reactivate another six ships in several different destinations. So we can expecting the service soon. But if you can go on board for a trip, it really depends on the vaccine you are shot. I spoke to you last week. The CDC required crew and the passengers get two vaccinated shot. So fulfill the qualification. Okay, so let's go back to see the celebrity cruises. Because June 15th is also sailing from Europe, not from the United States. Because there is a big issue we'll spoke to you later. Uh, is on the June 20th to 22nd, the CDC allowed the Royal Caribbean to run a conditional sailing to stimulate the situation happening on board the ship and for the cruises. Uh, so they have to set up the protocol to know what's gonna happen on board the ship. But 15 months ago, when the first pandemic struck on the cruise industry, all the cruise corporations starting building new systems, try to get rid of the touches to get infection ship wide. Uh, Royal Caribbean International uh, built a lot of new uh, several applications. Not only the applications, they set up a lot of new approach to help the ship runs very well. The very best one is the boarding things, like the boarding app. They required the passenger to check in over the internet when the day before you go to the ship. And when you reach the port, you walk into the terminal. You just show them your passport, your IPP, and doing some touchless sensors, and try to give you a lot of freedom to touch the thing you don't want to touch. And that's a pretty good APPs. The third one of the third largest cruise group, like a Norwegian group, has already adopted the new applications. So you can see all the cruise industry are working hard to recover their sailings. They do everything possible to recover this one, to recover the sailings. Now it's a chance, but the chance really relied on the government policy, especially when the President Biden, being the President of the United States, he encouraged the whole people around the North America, I will be say the United States, to get a vaccine shot. Now they got some pandemic situation is getting slow, and the people infected are decreased. So the cruise industry really relied on the pandemic situation. Okay, we do remember Royal Caribbean has a joint venture cruise line in Germany. It's called TUI. TUI is already starting 3 ships in service, basically in Spain and in German, in Mediterranean. So they just start service right now. And the Silver Sea Cruises, that's a luxury cruise line in the Royal Caribbean fleet. So they start sailing on the June 19th at the Silver Moon using Galapagos and the Mediterranean. So you can see the Europe region relaxed the law pretty early. So we just recall a couple of months ago, the Costa Cruises and the MSC Cruises start their Italian cruises already. But then now, more and more countries just lifted the ban and allowed our cruise sailing around Europe. But the continental U.S. will be recover very soon. I believe that will be in late June and early July. The Miami will be hot again. But actually, from the time point of view, the peak season of the Miami is in the winter, in the season of winter. We in the summer they do not offer too much sailings over there because of the hurricane season, as known as the typhoon season. So the big season will start in probably late December, late October or something. We just see what happens when we have an opportunity. We do have time to see there. Okay, so that's a great news to hear about the sailings, And Hawk Pod Lloyd Cruises, that's Expedition Cruises, will resume in service right now. Okay, that's a great news for the cruise industry. We'll come back to our class to see uh, the thing we are going to talk about is the cruise line from the Norwegian Cruise Corporation. Norwegian Cruise Corporation is, I believe, that's the third largest cruise corporation in the world. They have three brands. They got the Norwegian Cruises, Oceania Cruises, and the Regent Seven Sea Cruises. Actually, for the Norwegian cruise line, their major competitor is Royal Caribbean and the Carnival Cruise Lines. So you can see they are the main string cruise lines. They are building the big ship. They have a very attractive price to endure people to go on board the cruises. So Norwegian make up a standard of freestyle sailing in terms of no formal dress required for the Norwegian cruise sailing. So when we talk about when we think about the Norwegian, we have talked about a couple weeks ago, just a couple months ago. I would say as 2 or 3 years ago. In the fleet of a Norwegian, there's a ship named Norwegian Joy. It was purposely built to the Asia market, especially for the China market. Okay, let's check if we can see something different here. Okay. So Norwegian Cruise Line, they got the fleet of the is getting stronger and stronger. So from at this moment, you can see three ships lined up here. In the middle one is what I spoke to you earlier. It's the Joy. It's a Norwegian Joy. You can see the phoenix on the front of the ship. The decoration, the painting of the front is made by a very famous Chinese artist. Uh, but that's very unfortunate. The Chinese market is have a dramatically change. So the Joy, the Norwegian Joy, deployed in the China Shanghai market just for a short period of time. Then the Joy withdraw from the mainland China market. Not why, because of the different business pattern, I believe so. So they just left the China and joined to the other side of the Pacific Ocean. He went to the Alaska a couple months, just 2 years ago, and became one of the largest ships in the Alaska water. Okay, you can see that's become a trend of the ship front decoration. So the Norwegian cruises is getting more and more popular in the U.S. market. But we just look at the size. I will say the cruise ship of the Norwegian cruise lines. We can see go down. Just like this one, the Norwegian Blaze will be the one of the largest in their fleet. This around 168,000 tons. That's big ship. It carries 4,000 people and 2,000 employees and 2,000 crews. It counts around 6,000 people. It's a really big city around. But that's a big one. It's called a Breakaway Plus. class. They got several big ship around. And they got the Norwegian Blaze and the Norwegian Breakaway. So you can see from here, it's a Breakaway Plus class. It's a Breakaway classes. But we got several different class ship around here. Like here is a Dumplings. It's around 92,000 tons. For this size of the ship, it's good enough to in transit of the Panama Canal. But I believe I will say in 2019 spring, in the spring of a new 2019, one of the biggest ship from the Norwegian fleet passed the Panama Canal, and it's the new Panama Canal. So we do believe right now from the Atlantic Ocean to Pacific Ocean is no longer restrained to the ship from the probably 100,000 tons below. For the ship like the Norwegian Blaze, it can transit from the Atlantic Ocean to Pacific Ocean in Panama Canal. It suggests that we have a big ship is gonna deployed in the Pacific Ocean. I talked to you last week regarding the Alaska season. I believe Norwegian Blaze will join the market in August. So when we see gonna happen over there, there will be a very competitive market around there. So being a cruise industry planner, if from the cruise ship point of view, you have know your market much well, and you have know your market, the capacity of your market. From the Shanghai market point of view, the population around Shanghai is around 20 million. It's a really big market. So the market is good for the Norwegian Joy. Let's see how big is that one. Okay, Norwegian Joy. Norwegian Joy is here. It's a carry around 100 people. That's a big ship. That's why it can carry a lot of big passengers around a huge market. But when you look at here, the year built is 2017 and the refurbished in 2019. That's a funny things. But you know what? When you look at the right, the ship was built in 2006, refurbished in 2017. It cost 10 years to get it refurbished. But on this story will be the Norwegian Joy was follow the Chinese ideology to decorate the ship, to planning the ship. But when the market is changed, they pull the ship back to the probably the Europe and the American market. So you have to change some things like the galley, like something different to fulfill the market, especially for the bars, for the people for the Western hemisphere. They love drink, but for the China, they don't drink a lot. What they love is gamble. Okay, for the rest of of the Oceania, that will be the premium plus cruise lines, and the Region 7 Seas will be the very there will be a very expensive cruise line, just like their competitor, Seabourn and the Silver Seas. Okay, let's finish now. Norwegian group is a rising star in the industry. I spoke to you later. Bye bye.